It's October and Halloween is coming. A lot of you guys out there are waiting for the Halloween event. Me as well. Halloween's one of my more favorite times of the year. The fall season, I do like it. Spring, it's okay. Summer's pretty fantastic. My favorite time though is summer to fall. That little change of seasons, I don't know what it is, but I do enjoy it. So what could we see for Halloween this year? We've gotten an October event every year. Stands to reason we're going to get one this year as well. And we've gotten a couple new systems that can be implemented into the Halloween thing. Will we see them? Will we not? So what could we see for our Halloween events this year? So we do have 3 prior years of Halloween events to pull from. We do have 3 years of Halloween characters. And this is going to be the first time where we'd get 3 whole years of characters and possibly additional characters as well. Will they go back and touch up some of the previous characters? We've kind of seen them already do that before Halloween even came out with Grim Lord Sakura. So Grim Lord Sakura kind of sets a precedent here. Take a look at it real quick here. How about they went back and changed some of the global exclusive characters, her being a Halloween unit way before Halloween even came out. And as you guys know, she did have ability awakenings, but they no longer exist, but they still do. Okay, so her ability awakenings existed before. They're not in the game anymore, but the ability awakenings that she did have are kind of just baked into her actual kit now. And we do have 2 other characters aside from Grim Lord Sakura who did have ability awakenings, and these are going to be some standout characters, Dracu Lasswell as well as Demon Rain. So if we go down here and look at Demon Rain, I still think he's pretty good. He still kind of does what you sort of need him to do. He does have a couple special things that he does. He's a very nice physical tank still. He used to be the trolley counter-attack damage-dealing tank where you could like counter and do damage and maybe, you know, just make him your damage dealer. Nowadays, bosses are too tanky and they have too much HP and defenses for you to really just go all the way with a counter damage build on Demon Rain. Plus, the bosses tend to hit way harder than they used to before, which means that you're really not going to be able to leverage that high attack combined with high defense unless you're going for some sort of crazy dodge build there. But Demon Rain still does soak up that damage pretty well, and he does offer some unique things with his kit here. So we do have Demonic Surge as well, very strong, gives you physical magical killers 50% against humans for 3 turns to your whole party. In addition does that, it also does 150% attack and magic buff. But it's really about this unique killer. We've seen this sort of effect on other characters, but they're really never really 50%. Usually like 25, 30, somewhere around there. He does have 50% on a tank for 3 turns. Very, very strong. It is a 5-turn cooldown. You can't use it until turn 5, but it's going to help you effectively finish off human characters. He also has Entrust, which is very, very, very powerful. I am working on like a best ways to use Entrust or characters with the best limit burst video for you to go ahead and use some sort of wombo combo action that you've seen me personally use with Sacred Shield Charlotte. He does have access to that, and he's going to help you get that limit burst off due to Entrust in his counter. He's going to generate all those crystals. You know, other characters like Wilhelm has the nice counterattack. Sacred Shield Charlotte has the counterattacks. They kind of bleed the enemy for some limit burst crystals to help you get those limit bursts off. And then he does have the all-important Molten Armor. Very, very strong cooldown skill. 80% physical damage reduction for 1 turn for himself. He also has a 75% fire and earth resist buff on top of that, but it's really about this 80% physical mitigation. Outside of that though, he kind of doesn't really have anything else. Once you get into his ability awakenings, they're okay. All right, a lot of his ability awakenings really are in here. You know, increases true double hand, increases counter rate. You give him critical hit rate that increases his counter damage, which is kind of what he was known for back in the day. True double hand, like we said before. His defend +2 is a 3-turn, 100% provoke with 50% damage mitigation. That is cool there. Demonic Fury, you know, 30% HP. But a lot of this stuff's pretty dated, right? 80% attack and magic buff. A lot of this stuff's pretty dated. And if they do want to bring him back out, he does have a 104% fire and peril on his limit burst. You know, maybe they go back and revisit his kit, revisit his design. You know, first and foremost. So will we see a rework for Demon Rain? I could see him getting reworked. He doesn't really need a full rework with the EP system. What I think we'd be more inclined to see is some EP bonuses for him with the series bonus boss battle stuff. Maybe we'll get a Halloween series bonus boss battle, and I have quite a couple of ideas of what we could see there. Now, Dracu Lasswell as well, a chaining character. He's okay. His main thing, right? He's an AT chainer. His multiplier is a little bit lower than usual, and he does have double cast. He also has triple cast, but he unlocks triple cast only from his limit burst. I think it is Insatiable Thirst down here. Is this what it is? Yeah, the triple cast from Insatiable Thirst. It only is activated by his LB. Another character that doesn't really need a full rework. He does have ability awakenings already. If they did do ability awakenings for Dracu Lasswell and Demon Rain, you know, they could go back, sort of do the rework thing that they did with the Lord Sakura, put all the ability awakenings into their kit passively, maybe give them a little bit more of a buff on top of that, and then give them ability awakenings once again. But I don't know if they'll do that. What we're more likely to see is an EP awakening for Dracu Lasswell as well as Demon Rain. This would make it pretty easy for them to do it. It wouldn't be as strong, possibly. I mean, it's hard to say, right? An EP awakening system can give characters a whole new skill. We've seen series bonus boss battle effects in Japan are getting pretty strong now, where they get like incredibly high. We're talking like 30 times, 40 times multiplier skills just like added to their kit. EP skills can be very powerful, just like ability awakenings. They're just ability awakenings 2.0 for the most part. And you can just, when something's just shy, you know, Dracu Lasswell, give him an EP skill, give him triple cast, give him an EP skill that gives him a giant modifier increase on his equity slash or whatever chaining skill you want him to do, and all of a sudden he's gonna be back in the meta. He'll be right as rain. He just needs higher damage. It's not that hard to put a damage dealer back on the map with an EP skill. Demon Rain, same thing, just make him tankier. And really, he's just there to soak up hits. That's all. He's got the 1-2-3 punch for a tank. You know, he's got the cover, he's got molten armor, he's got entrust, he's got some unique stuff here with the killer, the entrust, and he's got the 1-2, you know, mitigate damage. So if he just got a little bit more tankiness, maybe give him some draw attacks, give him draw attacks. Draw attacks is always very, very, very powerful. And a little bit more stats, and he could be up there once again. I already think he's more than usable, especially if you're abusing his entrust in sort of a certain team comp that's going to put him up there as well. Now, Lord Sakura, she just got reworked, very powerful, but if they go through and they decide to just give all of her characters EP skills, then she's going to be up there as well. And, you know, give her some EP skills, give her more multipliers. Really not that big of a deal. I think the EP skills could be a thing that we're going to be seeing here. Now, we also have the characters from last year. We have Lucius and Lilith. So these characters do not have ability awakenings, and I would more than likely think that these characters are going to get ability awakenings. They could possibly also get EP awakenings as well if they did go through, right? Leave Demon Rain and Dracu Lasswell. They're not going to give them reworks or anything. They're not going to give them ability awakenings. They're just going to leave them the way that they are. Lord Sakura doesn't have ability awakenings, but did just get a rework. And then Lilith, give them, Lucius and Lilith, give them ability awakenings, and then go on ahead and give them EP skills as well. Now, they could go through the full Monty, leave Demon Rain and Dracu Lasswell the way that they are, with their ability awakenings intact, no character reworks, and then give Lord Sakura, Lilith, and Lucius, because technically, Lord Sakura, she got kind of re-released with her rework, right, this year. They could give all three of these characters ability awakenings and give all three of them EP skills at the same time, which would make them very powerful, and I could see that being a thing with Dracu Lasswell and Demon Rain. You know, give Dracu Lasswell 2 very strong EP skills. That's really all he needs. Get in there, do the AT chain, give him a high modifier AT chain, give him another way to unlock triple cast. Boom, bada boom, good to go. He's got a strong TMR, he's got a strong super TMR. Fantastic. You know, people will still be inclined to pull for Vampire Lasswell that way. Demon Rain doesn't really need that much help, just more tankiness. Lord Sakura, give her ability awakenings, give her an EP skill. Maybe the EP skills won't be as strong on her, right? Give her some HP, MP, whatever. You have it. And people would be super happy about that, because a lot of people got Lord Sakura from the character redesign banner, so that's a plus there. And then Lucius, excuse me, and Lilith could get ability awakenings as well as EP systems. So let's go ahead and look at what the drawbacks of Lucius and Lilith are, what would be most likely for them to get reworked here really quick. So Lucius is just like he's a damage dealer, doesn't really do anything super unique. He was a Royal Ray on one of his main damage dealing moves, as well as Kingsglaive and Octaslash. So if he does get ability awakenings, I could see him getting one of these moves picked up probably like the Kingsglaive move or the Octoslash move, and this could get like an ability awakening to change to a different family. One of these moves would, give him Bolting Strike or AT or something. One of those two skills, Bolting Strike, AT. I don't know about Stardust Ray. They're not really going for Stardust Ray yet, but I could see that as well. Blood Moon Barrage is here, Aurora Ray still 6.4 mod, but they could definitely make one of these other two skills the main damage dealing skill for him. Lucius had this thing where he was all about like, gaining some bonuses after going down to low HP, which is kind of okay, right? 300% attack buff for 3 turns, recover 300 MP, increase your limit burst gauge by 5 to 8, and then deal 95% of your HP and damage to yourself, and give yourself a defense and spirit break. So nothing crazy like that, but he did have, some cool things. Unjust Cause, auto revive with 1% HP. So if you do die, you go to 1% HP, you do 85% of your HP and damage to yourself. And he was really all about self triggering. I think it was like a 200 and something percent. Yeah, 200% attack buff for 2 turns when your HP drops below 20%. Really wasn't worth it, especially isn't worth it nowadays. Due to how strong we have of buffs. 150%, 200% buffs are not unheard of on a lot of characters nowadays. So really not that big of a deal. Outside of that, he just has some killers, and he was just a no-nonsense. Outside of that character, he just wanted to punch things. Wasn't super popular due to the fact that, if you're dual-wielding Aurora Ray there, Kingsglaive and Octoslash weren't the craziest, and the modifiers aren't that high. The one thing that he is missing, though, is a dual-wield character. You can see no dual cast, right? Nothing like that. And does he have... I don't even think true dual-wield existed. Okay, 40%. 40% true dual-wield. I lied. 40% true dual-wield. That's it. I could see him getting more true dual-wield percent. And he doesn't have the true dual-wield 6 times mod cap, though. So that's not a thing he has either. So he was like a character that had true dual-wield before true dual-wield was really a thing. The modifier here in Sinister Fury, 250% attack buff for 3 turns, 14 times modifier. That's fine, 250% attack buff if you want to go ahead and do that. But things that I would see chaining family change, because Octoslash and Kingsglaive aren't really that popular. They especially just changed Galoose Kingsglaive to Absolute Mirror of Equity, so I could see this getting changed to Absolute Mirror of Equity, or Piercing Barrage getting changed to Absolute Mirror of Equity, whichever ones of those ends up being his highest modifier skill. His highest modifier skill will probably get changed. And then more true dual wield. Give him the true dual wield mastery, and just just kind of do a no nonsense character does damage sort of thing. He's never been super interesting to me, just because he just kind of hits things. He just punches stuff, and sometimes that's okay. He counterattacks in the arena and all that fun stuff. I do believe with his demon chemistry skill, single target divine ruination, but that's about it. So he's not like the most interesting character. EP skills as well. You could go ahead and maybe buff up that auto re-raise to like 5% or so, maybe give him a higher attack buff, if you get below 20% HP, but, the main thing he needs is true dual wield stuff, as well as higher modifiers and a better chaining family. Now, Lilith, a lot of people out there are still using Lilith. She's still very strong. Her TMR is fantastic. Her super TMR is also pretty dang good. 30% defense and spirit equipped with a mace, 50% dark resist, and 30% HP. The mace thing's kind of weird, but then you go ahead and you realize that Midnight Star is absolutely insane. I'm totally getting one of these this year. Some way, somehow, I'm getting a Midnight Star. I'm really sad that I didn't pick this up. I really wanted it, but I couldn't pull on that banner at the time. It's so strong, guys. Spirit, 95 flat spirit, and demonization, or demonetization, as we call it on YouTube here. Also gives you 20% HP and 10% defense, 10% spirit. You might think this is okay, but nothing super insane. But then you realize that it's a mace. So Item World's coming out. You can run your mace through Item World. Rare ability level 4 for a mace is 40% HP on its own. So if you get lucky, you get like a 40% rare ability. Maybe you get like some spirit 15% and then like 10% HP. You're looking at collectively 70% HP, 25% spirit, and like 10-ish% defense or something like that if you leave that right there from demonization. And then 95 flat spirit on top of that. That is absolutely insane, and that is a TMR. This thing is crazy. A lot of tanks can wear maces too, so that's going to be fantastic. And then if you have her super TMR too, that fulfills the mace part, so you get fire, dark resist, 30% HP, 30% spirit, 30% defense. Crazy character. None of this stuff is going to get changed. They don't need to change any of that stuff. We didn't talk about Lucius's TMRs or anything. His super TMR is fine. His TMR here is fine. I don't see them changing any of these things. You could maybe make this like 40% with a fist, 30% with clothes. But outside of that, these characters, Team Arts and Super Team Arts, are still fine. Now, what could she get changed as far as her kit goes? So, Lilith is a very flexible tank. She's almost like Bosch, right? She can tank magic damage, she can take physical damage. She's just missing out on a couple of things. She self-heals herself. She doesn't really have a lot of utility outside of that for your party, okay? She does have Serpentine Tail, which allows you to dual cast some of her offensive skills. All right, she does have Fire Resist and Dark Resist 60%. Maybe those could go up, right? Give her some higher percent in peril, so that could be one of her jobs she can do for you there. But outside of that, you know, she's got a roll array, she's got Kingsglaive. Maybe they'll change the Kingsglaive chaining frame family, so something else, AT, something like that. Make her like a support chainer, so she can chain Auroral Ray, Fire and Dark. Maybe she can chain, you know, AT, Fire and Dark as well, or maybe a different chaining frame family. She also has Demonic Guard, magical and physical. This is where she's kind of like Bosch, right? She's got both covers for magic and physical damage. And then she's got her cooldown skills here. This is where she kind of just like does damage, right? 6-turn cooldown available on turn 1. Does a little bit of damage per turn with spirit scaling, HP drain as well, magic damage there. Magic damage, not with spirit scaling though. The HP drain doesn't scale with spirit. Really weird. This is just a really weird skill. I could see this like getting changed, or they could just leave it alone. Most things are immune to charm nowadays. Not that big of a deal. The magic damage of spirit scaling per turn, that's negligible amounts of damage. You know, it's just negligible. It's a dot. Dots aren't that good. I'm just gonna say, you know, unless your name's like Kaito or something. Kaito's like the only sort of dots that are really good, followed by Kryla. But dots like this, that was just like 3.2 magic damage, just spirit scaling for 5 turns. No one cares, especially on a tank like that. It's not going to hit that hard. Then magic damage 4.0 is an HP drain, 50% to one enemy. This is going to heal her up a little bit, but like it's not hard to get healed in FFBE, so you don't really need like a crazy self-healing tank. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest with you. Plus, her counter is going to help heal herself up anyway. Enchanting Corruption here, 70% Fire Dark Resist for 3 turns. That could maybe get buffed up. It's a cooldown skill 5 turns, maybe like 120%. Defense and Spirit buff 3 turns to the caster. That's fine, 150%. Increase limit burst gauge by 2 to 4 to all allies. I would like to see this skill get buffed up as well. You know, this should be like one of the big LB gauges. Fills, you know, like I use for like Summerlid Fino or Malphase or anyone like that. Maybe it should be like 10, 12 Limit Burst Crystals. I should give you Defense and Spirit buff, like 200%, and make her Defense and Spirit break resist, and then give her 100% or something Fire and Dark resist. That's very strong, for sure. But you can have characters with strong skills. It's not game breaking or anything. It's just a very strong skill for who to use on turn 1, and then you know, it's a 5-turn cooldown. Then Hypnotic Presence. This is one of her good skills here as well. Very strong skill. So mitigate physical damage and magical damage by 65% for 1 turn, and then mitigates physical damage and magical damage by 45% for 2 turns. So what this does is you use this skill the first turn. After you use it, you're gonna have 65% mitigation for 1 turn to both physical and magical, and then the second turn you're gonna have 45%. So it's like a degrading. I think it's degrading is the word. Oh gosh, yeah. Degrading over time. So 65 to 45%, very strong there as well. Skill, so this doesn't really need to get changed. And then she's got Serpent Kiss of Midnight, which she can dual cast here. The last thing that I would like her to see, to get, if you want to make her really good, she doesn't really need it, but more dual casting of her skills here. For sure. All of her dual cast skills are just offensive stuff. They don't really do that much. You're not gaining that much out of her, you know. Increased defensive spirit 80%, 100%, 120%, not that big of a deal. Magic damage dots, not that big of a deal. Charm 10%, charms 5%. The charms don't matter anymore when all the bosses are immune to charm. It was kind of a cute thing that she could do before. It's kind of in flavor. She's a succubus, I get it. Leave them there, you know, don't take them away, but you know, don't count them as part of the power of the move when you're designing the character, because they're really not powerful. If you can't use them against bosses, this might as well not be there. So, you know, if I'm designing the character or whatever, I look at inflict charm 5% for 1 turn enemy. That's a flavor thing that I'll add on there. You know, she's a succubus. She's gonna charm people. It's cute, whatever. It's not gonna work on bosses. We'll throw it in there. It's pretty much irrelevant. You know, sort of thing like that. But what she could do, you know, maybe add like counter curse. You know, add counter curse to dual cast. Maybe if you want to go over the bow, there's some crazy things you could add to dual cast here. Get rid of the Serpentine thing. Maybe make a dual cast all of her skills so she can dual cast a cover plus something else that'd make her really strong. Would it make her game breaking? No, because she's not really doing anything super insane with this other utility stuff. But I'd give her a dual cast, you know, maybe to this other stuff, maybe Counter Curse, Love Hungry, maybe Demonic Guard, Physical, Magical. Change Life Siphon to like something, I don't even know. Enchanting Corruption, you know, make this dual castable too. And then I'd leave this this mitigation skill as not a dual casting skill, although you could also make it a dual cast skill, which would be very powerful, where you could start off the battle right away with your cover of choice and then 65% physical magical damage right away if you made this available on turn 1. That'd be pretty cool too. That'd be like she can be a really bulky character, right? Give her some sort of a general mitigation, and on turn 1 she can have general mitigation, cover mitigation, be covering, and have physical mitigation and magical mitigation all on turn 1. That'd be very, very cool. You know what? That's very powerful. Powerful things should be able to occur in this game. It's not game breaking in comparison to a lot of stuff that other things can do. She doesn't have a lot of other utility, right? She's not boss. She doesn't have 70% breaks or anything crazy like that. She doesn't have a bunch of other crazy stuff like Charlotte and Galoof and Warrior Light are going to have, and she's going to have to exist in the game with those characters as well. So she should have her own unique niche, which should become very tanky right away if that is a need for you. Outside of that, she does have a camouflage, so no draw attacks tanking there thing for her. You know, it would be cool if you could make draw attacks tanks are the new thing. I would like to take Dreamwalker and make it provoke instead, but I think they're just going to leave this as camouflage. It's kind of fitting. It's very succubus-like. You know, you can't catch her. She's just out of reach, dude. She's out of your league. You know, she's just not into you. You know, she's just not that into you, dude. And then outside of that, you know, EP skills, character ability awakenings. Just give her some more tankiness. She's really lacking the tankiness. I give her more tankiness, for sure. Well, she's got 30% defense here. She's got 30% spirit here. She's got defense and spirit here. Defense here, and HP spirit. So she needs more HP, she needs more spirit, she needs more defense. Definitely put that in there. I know it's a lame one to do. You could turn this defense plus 20% into something else. They like to do that with ability awakenings nowadays. But if you give her ability awakenings and EPs at the same time, we've seen a lot of EP skills that are just like, you get more tankiness. And she is kind of just needing that. She just needs more tankiness. That's really all she needs. Maybe ability awakenings for the chemistries. I know it would ruin Arena, so don't do it, but make it max 2 per turn. That would help you out a lot in PvP. It'd be insane, but in PvE it'd be really cool. If you could counter 2 times with Vitality Chemistry, give her a 30% HP heal. Be very nice there. Same thing with Energy Chemistry as well. If you bump this up to 2 times, Arena would be a nightmare. You'd absolutely get probably dumpstered on if they could counter. Or you ran into 2 Lilith and they just countered 4 times each and destroyed your whole team. So probably won't see that happening, but it'd be very, 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 very cool for the game, which I've been told Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is primarily a single-player game and is balanced around being single-player and the single-player experience. So maybe just make this a ×2 counter for that'd be her unique niche. She can heal up, you know, just like Gladiolus and stuff. Very awesome there. And then here's Dream Chemistry as well. Dream Melding, 100% high tide for your whole party. I really wish the HP scaling one. Maybe get rid of this one and put this up in there. Who knows? But yeah, very awesome stuff there. She just needs more tankiness. A Living Burst, you know, nothing really crazy. She does heal herself, which is pretty awesome there. Maybe give this a Chaining Frame family if you're going to go through a full rework on all of the characters. That's what I would do there. But yeah, Lilith could be very, very powerful if that's what they did. If they did that, Lilith is cool. Tanks are like always my favorite characters in most games for some reason. At least in gacha games, right? I'm having a fun time with Knights in Epic 7. Tanks are like, we've done so many weird things with tanks in FFBE as well, right? Counter tanks and trust tanks, you know, firing off Living Burst with tank strategies, all this other weird stuff. Draw attack tanks, crazy. If she gets draw attacks, it's gonna help her out a lot. Take that camouflage off, give her draw attacks. That's gonna be very, very powerful for her. I think there might even be, this is dodge, right? Yeah, there was something else. There's some other Halloween item that we're getting this week. We're getting the satchel and something else this week, so keep that in mind as well. The new event, if you haven't seen that stuff, coming out this week, today actually, since it's Thursday. If you haven't seen that stuff, go and get it. If you want to know all the information about it, I did a video on it the other day, or you can just go check your in-game news, whichever you desire. But we talking about EP system. How do we get EP system? Series bonus boss battles. This, I want to see this back. The inner chamber, going over this real quick. I love this. I loved it so much when we got this. This was a while back. This was when we got Lord Sakura, Lilith, and Lucius? I can't remember. I want to say Lord Sakura is when we got this one. I'm probably very wrong. I remember using A2 on it. And a lot of people were really mad they were using A2, but A2's so cool. This was A2 6 star. This is when 6 stars existed. This came out, so it was definitely Lord Sakura, not Lucius and Lilith. Yeah. So, series bonus boss battle. Not the Skeleton Rain. Not the Pumpkin Reaper. Skeleton King. You guys remember this guy. Back when 6 stars existed, this guy had 48,750,000 HP. He only had 35 defense and spirit, though. But this man was a nightmare. This was the literal nightmare Halloween fight. I want to see this man back as a series bonus boss battle. Chamber of the Vengeful, something. Alright, give us our EP skills for our characters. It's gotta happen, dude. I love this event so much. It was almost really well designed. It was really well designed. If you guys don't know, there was 2 parts to it. There's the Castle Keep, and then there was the inner chamber. And so what you would do is you would do the Castle Keep. It was kind of like a King Moggish type thing. Oh, and then there was the Halloween dungeon. So it was actually a 3-part. There was the Halloween dungeon, the Castle Keep, and the inner chamber. This was all the same event. This isn't the 3 different years. It's the same event. I want to see this back. I loved it. So the Halloween dungeon, you went through with energy, and you got different drops. You got the rare summon ticket and stuff for the clear rewards, and you got the labs for the clear rewards. And then you kind of went in here and you got skeleton keys, right? You got skeleton keys with your energy. And then you could use the skeleton keys to go into Castle Keep. And this is where it was kind of At the same time, it was maybe a little bit too expensive on the keys. But the Castle Keep cost the keys that you would go and farm. So you would go and get the energy, use your energy, get the keys. And you come in here and you spend the keys on different chambers of your choice. So you could get Chris, and you could see that the drops in here actually kind of matter, right? There's Mega Sites, great. But these ones had, like, this was the beginner mode. So it had a lot of ability awakening materials. If you were a new player, you could come in here, spend your keys for a bunch of the ability awakenings. It was very easy stage 2. Castle Beginner, I like that design, right? Advanced mode, you could get, you know, cactars and stuff. A lot of people didn't really farm this one. But you could get the cactars and stuff in here in the advanced mode. But I really like the idea here as well. And then you had the elite mode, which had L Cryst, Mil Cryst, Heavy Crysts, Giant Crysts as well. So you could go in here and farm up Crysts during this event if you were so inclined to do so. And then you had the Inner Chamber here. The Inner Chamber, which was the boss missions, which gave you the rewards. This is where you had Inner Chamber, what was it? Intermediate, Elite, and Nightmare, all caps, and these are the 3 different bosses. And these are where you got the big rewards, you know, the items and stuff. Collar of the Blessed, Reaper Shaft, Cloak of the Ghoul, stuff like that. This is where you got all this cool stuff at. But I would love to see the Skeleton King make a comeback as a series bonus boss battle of some sort. I want to see this kind of event again. It was almost really good. I love the idea of, here's an event where you can go in and kind of farm what you want to farm. So, you know, farm what you want to farm. Farming ability awakening stuff, you know, make that the easy one. Keep that one there for sure. Cactars and Gill Snappers and stuff, no one really cared about this. So maybe make this something different. Maybe make this something different for people to farm. And then ability awakening stuff if you want to farm ability awakening stuff. I know a lot of you guys out there, we're getting a lot of characters with a lot of ability awakenings. We're getting characters with like 8, 9, 10 different abilities to awaken. So that'd be awesome if we get something like that back again. You can get up to, you can get Giant Cryst, everything but Pure Cryst, but as you saw, you know, Pure Cryst were part of the clear rewards as well. So this is something that I want to see. Let me know what you guys think we're going to get this year. What do you want to see for Demon Rain, Dracu Lasswell, Lord Sakura, Lilith, and Lucius? I'm looking forward to getting my hands on Midnight Star finally. The item is so good. Let me know what you're looking forward to getting your hands on this Halloween season. And if you have any ideas of your own, put them down in the comment section below so we can chat about it as we wait for the spooky Halloween scary skeletons. Don't copyright me. I'm not singing that song, Disney. Thank you so much. Anyways, guys, hit that subscription button, turn the notification bell on so you can stay notified for this content. Check out this week's videos if you've missed them, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.